Doing due diligence on lots of websites can take a fair bit of time. And I know that you don't want to waste your time doing due diligence on these crappy websites that aren't actually the right websites that you want to be investing in buying. Hey, I'm Jared Krause from buyingonlinebusinesses.com. And I guess you want to go away and buy a website, but obviously you don't want to go away and buy a lemon, right? This is why I actually like to pre-vet websites before I decide to do due diligence on them. And so in this video, I'm going to share my screen with you and show you exactly how I go and find these websites from these different types of brokers. I'm going to show you 4 different brokers, and we'll go through probably 4 different websites. And I'm going to show you how to detect risks with these listings, right? With these websites that are listed for sale. I'm going to show you how to spot what questions you should be asking the seller, what additional information you should be getting to verify the business is actually a good, legit business. And I'm also going to show you how to find these hidden growth opportunities. Now, sometimes brokers will tell you there's a growth opportunity within this business, but that may actually be a risk. And sometimes they're not even listing these different types of growth opportunities that you should be aware of. So there's so many things within this pre-vetting phase of looking at websites for sale that is very, very valuable for you to learn before you go away and spend your time doing due diligence, and especially before you go away and buy a website. But the best advice on how to buy an online business that's past that 90% failure rate all startups face and has a proven track record of making money every single month, go away and hit the subscribe button. Also hit the bell notification so you can get updated when I upload new videos about this every single week. Now, before we get started and before you even decide to start looking at these websites on these different types of brokers, there's something that you must do that's a critical time saver. And the thing is that most website investors don't actually do this. They waste so much time looking at website businesses that are dud listings and not actually good websites that they're probably going to buy anyway. This is a critical thing that I want you to learn, because you can always earn more money, but you can't earn more time. So I want to help you save time by doing this very important thing. And what this important thing is before you go away to look at a website for sale, is you should set up some sort of plan. You should have some sort of guidelines for what type of business you actually want to buy. You should know how much you want to pay for a business. You should know what type of business that is, like what type of business model. And you should have like a little list or a little investment criteria or some sort of guidelines that depict what businesses you should be looking at. Businesses that cost X amount, businesses that may be making X amount per month, businesses that don't take any longer than say 10 to 15 hours per week to run, businesses that you can run whilst having a regular job, a regular 9-to-5 job, and juggle being a parent, businesses that, may have some level of risk minimization involved, businesses that have a moat, all these different types of things. So I think it's really good to have an investment criteria, right, which I call guidelines, before you go away and even look at these websites. Because a lot of people will go away and open up the brokers and marketplaces and look at all these listings and then spend time looking at all these businesses. And before they know it, they spend hours and hours and hours looking at a business that is bad, right? This is going to be bad for them. And if they invest in it, or anybody invests in it, it could be a bad investment. It could be an absolute lemon. Make sure you have some investment criteria, so you're only looking at the top-notch listings that are right for you. Now, once you know what those are, it's time to get on the hunt, right? It's time to go away and find exactly where those businesses are. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to share my screen with you. We're going to go away and look at some different brokers. And for this sake, as an exercise principle, I'm not going to actually have too many guidelines or criteria. Probably mainly going to stick to content websites and websites that are around 100K, because these ones, 100K to 50K, these are the ones that most people I find that are watching my stuff and in my audience are actually looking at. So it'll be valuable to go through those for you guys. So let me share my screen and let's get stuck into it. All right. So first up, we're going to go to FE International. I click buy a website, and then as you can see, they got some listings here, 20 million for sale, 16 million, and we're going to go all the way down and find something around the 100K range, right? What I'm looking here is at the asking price. Find something around the 100K range, and they may not have anything. So they got this. Here's an affiliate one, right? This is a SaaS one. Like I said, the guidelines, I'm probably going to stick to something that's around 100K. So that could be probably the first one to go to. And then you got another SaaS one, 70K, and an affiliate tools one, 60K. SaaS for 45. So let's go to the one that's 117,000 and check that out. So what I do is I click on the listing and I look at what's involved with it, right? Like I said, I want to go away and see what risks are involved and see what further information I need to get. Now, as you can see, FE International, they don't actually require you to provide proof of funds. You can just sign up and request listing information, request the prospectus, and usually sign an NDA, which is a non-disclosure agreement. And you can go away and get all the information for this listing. Some of the other brokers actually, like Investors Club and Empire Flippers, ask for you to have some level of proof of funds before you go away and get access to prospectuses. That's why those marketplaces and brokers actually have more information on their actual listing. Whereas with FE International, they have less because you can get it really quickly and easily. Let's look at the main benefits. So it's in the tool space, DIY product reviews. I would be asking first up, if it's a product reviews, I think it's probably going to be best of type affiliate articles. I'd be asking, what's the revenue split? Is it mostly from Amazon? Is it mostly from another source like ShareASale? And what's the percentage from Amazon or ShareASale? If it's 100% or 90% from one of these products or one of these affiliates, then what's the case is that there's a risk of single source dependency on revenue. Okay. And what you'd want to do is you want to ensure that you can minimize that risk by having multiple revenue streams or multiple revenue vendors that can allow you to make an affiliate commission from multiple ones of these. Because if you have one single source, and this has happened before on Amazon, then they may change their policies and they may change the commission structure, and that could decrease your revenue significantly. Also, like to ask if they've ever tried ads, and that could be a growth strategy as well, to putting ads on an affiliate site. Let's look at this listing. Firm foothold in the niche, growing month over month, strong keyword backlink profile. I'd be asking if they've ever had a PBN used or they've ever paid for links. And if so, what is a good list of those links? So getting a list of those links and checking them out, seeing how actually valuable they are, and see if you need to keep renting those links to keep them linked to the site. And then we also have some more information, ranks for 40,000 keywords. Okay. So this is a good thing, but most people don't understand there could be a risk involved, either a lot of keywords or a minimal amount of keywords. And that could be that if they've got 40,000 keywords, they may have 2 to 3 pages that bring in the most traffic. In fact, I've seen websites for sale that they've got the 3 top pages. And I was just looking at this with a client earlier. They've got 3 of the pages are bringing in most of the traffic, and one of them was 45%, right? One of the keywords, one of the articles was bringing in 45% of the traffic, which means that's a massive risk. If that loses ranking, they lose a lot of traffic, right? So there's single source dependency on traffic between articles, and also single source dependency on traffic between, traffic sources from Google to social media and stuff like that. So I'd be looking at those things too. As you can see, there's not a whole lot of information here. Great opportunity for content for a new owner to take over a content business with a strong month over month growth rate, multiple expansion opportunities. So they don't give too much here. They just basically say it's growing. So what you need to do is request your information, get your prospectus, and then go away and look at that. Now let's move on to Empire Flippers. So I've logged into their app. This is their marketplace, and we can see the asking price. So what I do is I just scroll down to their asking price around 100K, which is where most of us are going to be watching this, and look for a content site. So 100K, Amazon Associates and affiliate. Amazon Associates, usually that's 100% Amazon Associate revenue. This one is Amazon and other affiliates in the sports niche. So we might look at that one. There's a cryptocurrency one. No, let's look at this sports one. All right, cool. So I can unlock the listing here because I'm verified, or choose to buy now, but I won't unlock this listing because you only get a certain amount that you can unlock. They're using a 10-month multiple period, 43x. It's pretty standard. As time of recording, the listings Amazon Associates, and okay, so also does display ads and other affiliates. Created 2 years ago as the time of recording, or almost 3 years ago now. It's 2021 as I record. Here we go. This is what we wanted to see. Amazon Associates, 90% of the income comes from Amazon Associates. So that's Amazon affiliate revenue, which means it's it's quite single source dependency on Amazon. So if Amazon changes anything in terms of commission, which they've already done, then you can lose a big chunk. Then you could lean into, as a risk diversification strategy, lean into other affiliates and or display ads. So what they've done is I can see time setting up a sale if they chucked on some affiliates to show that there's a bit of risk diversification there, and also ads. So here's another single source of dependency, 93% on organic traffic, probably from Google, 6% direct, 1% referral. It doesn't look like they've got any social media that is significant at all, or even there at all. So they mentioned the seller writes 1 article per week and has also outsourced writers to help with this task. Link building is organic. Okay, so they're saying they're not using any paid link building. I'd still be asking if they've ever used a PBN or if they've ever paid for link building in the past, right? At the time of listing it, it may only be organic link building, but you still want to ask if they bought links and get a list of those links. So they do have Twitter and Instagram on socials, but they say they're not important in terms of traffic, and they've also got an email list with 145 subscribers. I'd be asking about the email list. How current are the subscribers? What's the opt-in rate? Have they remarketed to these subscribers? Like, have they sent them to other articles that are on their site that are squeeze pages or money pages for different affiliate products? And I'd be asking that, what are the opt-in rate for those emails as well? How often do they email them? So I'd really be working out how valuable that email list is. And then as a growth strategy is working out, if this is in the sports niche, can they make a better opt-in and get more subscribers? Mediavine earnings, so that's who they're using. Here we go. These little asterisks here is things that you want to really check out. The seller also owns 2 other sites in the fitness niche, which have some overlapping content and target some of the keywords. URLs can be provided upon request. So I'll be looking at seeing if they could sign like a NCA, which is a non-compete agreement, really coming to some sort of agreement with them based on their keywords and their site and how they're going to grow their site in accordance to selling this one, because there's a risk involved with that for sure. And you'd want to dig into that deeper. So what else? Okay, looks like the business, because it could actually be seasonal, right? But I'd be asking, why did it spike in April? Looks like December, a good month, but why did it spike in April and May as well? I'll be asking that, and then getting verification of the traffic and all that sort of stuff. So here we go. Here's the opportunities that they mentioned: growing display ads and switching to a more profitable ad network. I think depends on how much traffic they're getting. Is they probably can't go to a more powerful ad network because they're only at 50,000 page views a month, I guess, or under. And Mediavine takes 50,000. So if they're already on Mediavine, that's probably the most powerful one they can get. Anything higher is like AdThrive, and you need 100,000 per month hits. I would say opportunities for growth would be diversifying revenue between different affiliates and working on conversion rate optimization on those pages and getting more traffic. That's probably the best growth opportunity I find. And then also some email marketing. Yeah, so they said adding quality content, using more outsourced writers to generate content. Risks, Amazon, yep, I mentioned that. Google algorithm changes, yep, I mentioned that. So single source dependency on either of those, 2 hours a week to run. And there you go, guys. So if they say no PBN, I'd still be asking the seller if they've ever bought links, right? Because I've had, and this is not Empire Flippers' fault at all, but I've had people that are selling websites lie to Empire Flippers that they have never used a PBN, and then a client had asked them and they said, yeah, I've got a friend who owns a private blog network that we've used, never paid for it, but he wrote articles and did some sort of deal. But he lied to Empire Flippers. And then he also told my client that it's not really a big thing. A lot of people do this and there's no risk involved with it. So there's some porcupines, and what I mean by porcupines is lies. There's something to be wary of. So you really want to build a good relationship with the sellers and ask great questions as well. Better the relationship you have with them, the more they're going to share, right? Rather than being a full interrogator. So that's Empire Flippers. We've also checked out Epi International. All right, so I've got my criteria. I want to pre-vet something that's around 100 grand. So we've got Vapor Vanity here. This one's a bit cheaper, 5 grand. 16 grand for window tints. This one's 11. This one's 52. Yoga Barons, 168. Okay, so it looks like there's one, and that's probably the vape niche. So what we'll do is we'll go away and find that one. Now, Motion Invest sell mainly content sites, and mainly they're in between 0 to 80K or 70K. Sometimes they get some bigger ones like this Vapor Vanity one. So let's go and look at more info and break this one down and look at what you should be looking out for, what other questions you should be asking the seller, and what growth opportunities there are. So 6 years old, commission junction, dip devices, impact, quick fix, test clear, test negative, share a sale, social CBD. So it looks like they've got a bunch, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 10 affiliates, which is really cool. I'll be asking, what's the revenue split between them? Is most coming from commission junction or share a sale, which are these two bigger ones that I know? I'll be asking that question. Okay, looks like this business has it sold? Buy now. No, it hasn't sold. Okay, cool. Says sold here. I'm not sure what that actually means. This one with a revenue split like that, I dare say it would go quite quickly. They run a Dutch auction here, which means the price gets lowered every 2 days. You can see that here. 3,300 per month, good DR, 20,000, about 18,000 keywords, 1,700 on the first page, which is really good, especially this is a 6-year-old site. I like it. I'm liking this quite. I'm not sure about the niche for myself personally. Another way you could add this site to Mediavine or Ezoic, or even just AdSense, and you could maybe get a little bit of ad revenue to split this up. Traffic, I'd be looking into traffic and seeing where most of the traffic's coming from. Is it single source dependency on Google? Do they have any social media accounts? Here's the revenue split, which is quite cool. You can see that share a sale is significant here in December. I'd be asking if this is also I'm just scrolling through here and having a look, if this business is seasonal. So be looking at the backlinks. The cool thing about Motion Invest is you can do all the due diligence basically yourself without having to sign anything. And then you can come down and ask the seller some question, or you can try and get in contact with the seller. How would you grow this site? I'd say before I answer this myself personally, and or before I get Motion Invest to answer this, I'll answer it myself. What I would say doing is maybe putting some ads on the site, testing it at least. I'd be adding more content. I'd bringing up what keywords out of those 18,000 aren't ranked, and those ones that are ranked in between, say, position 2 to 15 or 20, is I'd bring them up and update their content, scrap some of the content that's not valuable, do a good, because it's a 6-year-old site, maybe, especially in the vaping niche, maybe there's some negative SEO has been done. So I'd do a good disavow of spammy or toxic backlinks. I'd be checking those backlinks dramatically. It hasn't said anything about email marketing. I'd definitely be growing this by putting some email marketing on the site too. All right, let's see what they say. Set up advertising as well. Hasn't got any. Next, I would look at the kind of posts that have gotten links in the past and what kind of posts get a lot of links, and write a post about that, at least once a week. Finally, you could do some steady link building, outreach, or PR. Yep, I agree. I don't know about the link building. That's not my thing that I do at the moment with my sites, and I'm not sure I'm going to get into it. What's included in the sale? It tells you how much time does it take to run this site. Not much, so no answer. Okay, so there's nobody outsourcing the content, so you could build your own team here. Or a PBN use, no PBNs. I mostly didn't buy any links, okay? So that means they have still bought links. I'd be doing a good check with Ahrefs onto their link profile. Motion Invest use SEM Rush, which you can do as well. I'll put a link to SEM Rush. If you do go with SEM Rush, disclaimer, I am an affiliate, but I use Ahrefs, and a lot of people that I know use Ahrefs as well. In our space. So there you go. That's what I'd be looking at. There's the further questions I'll be asking for a site like this. Last but not least, let's go to Investors Club. Now, Investors Club, you do need to have proof of finances to see listings. Now, I think it's about $10,000 of proof of funds. Now, that's time of recording. It could change. There's also, you can be a premium member, which I am, but these are the free listings that you can look at as long as you have proof of finances. So here's what I'll be looking at for this site. It's kitchen faucets, 45 grand, 1,400 per month. I'll be looking at the revenue, single source dependency on revenue. The site is not very old. or is this when this was published? Let's have a look. So revenue sources, completely 100% from Amazon Associates. So single source dependency on Amazon Associates. Traffic overview. I'd be asking if it's mostly from Google. You can get access to the Google Analytics here as well. What's included in the sale here. So this is what you need to do is maintain the site with new content, updating old content, building new backlinks. I'd be asking if they got an email list as well. Finding out getting Google Analytics access. Kitchen faucets. I'd be looking at the competitors in the space as well, doing a bit of a backlink search, backlink research in Ahrefs and SEMrush, and seeing that it's good backlink profile, and then also looking at the competition. I'll be checking the competition to see how good their content is versus the content on this site, and see how much work needs to be put into this site and its content, and even its design and user experience to be able to outrank the competitors. Warnings and difficulties. Here we go. What have we got from the seller that are warnings and difficulties? Nothing. That's interesting. Domain strength. So it's got a decent DR. I'll be looking at those things with that. And what else have we got? How to grow the site, renting out ad space. Yep, it's something I've mentioned before. Improving social media visibility. I don't think social media is something really important for a kitchen faucet guide. I don't think people are going to be excited to look at that on social media. Outreach to similar blogs for link placements. I would say, if you can get natural links, I'd say a great way to grow this is with video content and better reviews of these kitchen faucets. I hope I'm pronouncing that right because I'm Aussie. We just call them taps in Australia. So I'd be looking at, and just improving the content would probably be the most important thing. And then maybe you could do some backlink building and splitting up the revenue. I definitely think email marketing is a great way to go for people that are doing kitchen renos. And you could also expand some of the content to not just faucet guides, but like bench shops that match faucets and stuff like that if you're struggling to rank for keywords as well. Here we go. The site has already breached the 1K mark for a site that's only 1 year old. It's a great achievement. I agree, but it could have just been built with a bunch of money. So you really need to check if they've bought a bunch of backlinks and how quality those backlinks are. So definitely do a good quality backlink analysis of the site. And I'd be asking, how much hours are spent on the site? How long does it take to create content? And can the seller provide a content brief? Also, how often are they, publishing articles? You could, to grow this site as well, a lot of people or nobody's mentioned CRO, so conversion rate optimization. But the first thing I'd be doing is diversifying traffic and diversifying revenue to decrease the risks, and also removing some of the backlinks that aren't valuable. I'd be asking about a PBN. So looks like they've bought backlinks. I'd be asking for a list of the backlinks that they've bought, asking about a PBN if they ever used it, or if they're renting links currently, if that needs to continue. And maybe get a non-compete agreement, because this person probably built this site to sell, like a lot of people have on these brokers. So that's basically it, guys. There's so much information and value there that I've shared with you about doing, pre-vetting sites before you actually go away and do due diligence. And I think it's really, really important for you to do that, so you're not wasting your time doing a full audit and a full due diligence of a site, and then to find out it's not the right type of business you want to buy because it's either cost too much, it's not making enough money, or it's got too much risk involved with it, or not enough growth opportunities. So guys, that's it for me. I went through so much in this video about due diligence, and I want to give you guys a gift. If you guys didn't already know, I have a due diligence framework. It's a very valuable framework. I've updated it. It's due diligence 2.0 now, time of recording. And what this due diligence framework is basically a set of questions that you need to ask the seller, and a set of things that you need to find out about the business, which actually takes all the guesswork out of doing due diligence on a website. And a lot of brokers and a lot of people in the space have recognized how valuable this is. Some people even say I'm quite crazy for giving it away for free, but there's a gift for you guys. You can just chuck your email in and go away and get that. There'll be a link down below. So check that out. If you guys have any questions around due diligence, buying sites, growing sites, or anything about running an online business, please let me know. I'd love to be able to create a great video that's going to be awesomely valuable for you. So I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.
Hey YouTube watcher, if you thought that video was good, you should check out this video here on the 2 best types of websites beginners should buy. Or check out my playlist on how I made my first 100K from buying websites and how to do due diligence. Check it out. It's an awesome playlist. You'll enjoy it.